Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. Have a look at the links that I have for you so you can explore and master this amazing deck. Welcome to your weekly reading. We are doing an extended line of 5 today with my own deck, the Silhouettes deck. Let's go ahead and start with you, Aries, and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aries, here is your extended line of 5. And as you can see, there are some really bright cards in here. We have the sun, the moon, the clover, and the key. The dog and bird are more on the neutral side. The coffin can be negative, but actually not with the sun and not in these combinations. So this is all around a lovely extended line of 5. Now, the moon in the center is a card of gentleness and attraction. It's a nice card that brings offers, invitations, maybe energy is getting closer, especially in relationships, and it can also point to honors and appreciation. Now we do have the dog in the card, so this is very much about a relationship, and so the moon brings that element of attraction and getting along. Backing up to the beginning of the line, we have the coffin and sun, and then the moon, clover, and bird. Now I would have suggested this is a happy ending, but what I think is happening here, Aries, is that after a time apart or an absence, or you haven't heard from this person for some time, you do hear from them. So the bird is a card of communication, and I think we see this clearly in the outer diamond as well. Now the sun and moon is lovely for a love relationship usually, but it's also great for all sorts of collaborations, and it is also a lovely combination for all around success and happiness. The clover very much adds to that, and the bird, like I said, is a card of conversations and negotiations and things like that. So it does bring contact and communication. It seems to come after a time of absence or when you haven't heard from this person. The clover can also mean it's lucky, or maybe there's a bit of a coincidence here, or something happens by chance that enables this communication, but I think it is very welcome and some good news as well. The dog with the moon and key is lovely for contact, for getting along with this person. Here we could be looking at an offer, especially with the key. There can be answers, there can be opportunities, and so this is also a really good reading for an opportunity that comes your way. So these are lovely cards all around, Aries. I think they're great for personal relationships, and they're also great for an offer or an invitation, and also for appreciation. Also, Aries, who the dog is specifically, that really depends on your circumstances. We don't really see in the rest of the cards if there's a focus that's more on personal versus work. It can be both. Yes, the sun and moon can be about love, but it's not always about love. It can be about other collaborations, at least in my experience. So really nice cards regardless of the context. Now here's a beautiful inner diamond. We have all 3 positive cards connected, sun and key and clover, along with the dog. So a wonderful relationship, very good answers, positive feedback, and a lovely collaboration. You could also be getting an opportunity through this person, regardless of the specific context for you. And in the outer diamond, we have that confirmation of the absence, especially since the coffin is on the right, on the left-hand side, and the bird is on the right. So we see the progression normally from left to right. And so with the dog, key, and bird, there are answers, there's contact, there's positive feedback, and there is good news from this person after a time where maybe you haven't heard from them. So really nice cards, Aries. Let me know what you made of them. Let me know what this news is and what this opportunity is about. I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Taurus, let's do your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your extended line of 5. It's looking a little bit challenging because of the snake. This can bring deception, especially with relationships. And the ring is not always about relationships, but we do have the man, and that is typically about relationships, along with the flowers. So it can point to the need to be careful and calm around this person, and also not to share everything with them. They could also be a bit deceptive, so maybe you can't trust everything they say. But what's interesting is the anchor at the end of the line, and the anchor with the snake suggests not giving up on a situation. So you could be inclined to want to move away, but the anchor encourages you to be a bit more patient. And what's interesting is the middle column, which can be promising. So maybe at this time, or maybe at the beginning of this relationship, or what you're going through right now with this person, it can feel a bit touchy or sensitive, and so you need to just be patient with it and stick with it. Now, I have to say that the flowers is a lovely card, and so is the ship and rider. The man with the flowers and ring is a lovely relationship. It points to renewal. It can also point to flirting and those sorts of interactions with a person, and so maybe this is the reason why, you know, the snake is a bit more roundabout, asks you to be more careful or more cautious, and also patient with this. But if it's another sort of relationship, the same idea applies. There's a lot of benefit that seems to come through this person, but there is also a more sensitive side, a more challenging side that we see through the snake, but the cards ask you to bear with it and to be patient with it. The ship and rider are both movement and travel cards. They're also good cards for progress and going after goals. And so there is good progress in the relationship. It's just that the snake asks you to balance out a little bit the approach, and also to be diplomatic and to maintain a cool front, at least for the time being. The anchor is also nice for achieving goals, actually, and we see it after the ship and after the rider, so it can be a really supportive card in this regard. I can also suggest, Aries, that the ship and rider can point to travel, going places. So maybe there is a time when this person is apart, or you're away, or you can't really move as fast as you want because of the snake and anchor, but stick with it and things will progress. The inner diamond is also nice. We have the flowers with the ship and snake and the rider and snake. I think these are very much the same ideas. There are progress and steps ahead, and there is some kind of optimism here for the project and for the progress that we're seeing. But the snake always asks for caution, and you don't need to run. You can just walk, take it easy as things move forward. And also just always sense check, Taurus, if there's anything going on behind the scenes and you know where you're heading. The man with the ship and anchor, rider and anchor, same idea here. There is some kind of arrival, and there is good news, and there is good progress, and also there is achievement. So it sounds like this person, the whole situation is working out, and the relationship with this person is also on track. It's just that there could be some sensitive elements and also some things that you need to be discreet about, Taurus, but it looks like you're on the right track for achievement, and that you can get to what you want, and this person is going to be supportive. It's also possible, Taurus, that you need to be charming with them. You need to sort of lead them to what you want. And I think you can do this successfully. And the way to do this is obviously with being tactful and diplomatic. So I think this is a lovely overall spread. It's just that the snake brings a bit of sensitivity and discretion to the situation, but I think that's fine. It looks like you are on the right track and you will achieve your goals. In terms of a relationship, I also think it's looking good. Maybe this phase is a bit more, sensitive, but just go with it and be patient, and I think you'll achieve what you want. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Taurus. Let me know what this was about, if this was a relationship, if there was physical travel, or it was just, going after these goals. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Gemini, let's do your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Gemini, here is your extended line, and it's pretty clear to me what's going on. Initially, we have some challenges with the snake and whip, but then we have the rider and anchor. So I think that after a difficulty or even an argument with someone, it's possible that you come to a conclusion or you come to an agreement. The snake and whip is pretty challenging, I have to say, Gemini. This could be a difficult episode, or there can be a trap or something a bit deceiving that comes to the surface, and it can affect the relationship. It can even lead you to want to get out of the relationship or the commitment that is represented by the ring. But because of the Rider and Anchor, it's very likely that you're going to stick with it and that you're probably going to overcome the issues. And even if you don't overcome the issues fully, I think you're still going to go with it until you get what you want and achieve your goal. And I think after the Anchor, well, we don't have anything here, but I think after this achievement or getting what you want out of this, I guess you can move on and do something different. The Bird and Fish are cards that point to negotiating about money. And with the ring, it's possible that this has to do with your income or your commitments, your work commitments, or your business commitments, and these areas usually. I also think they can point to possibly bills and recurring costs, especially since we have the Snake and Whip. So in this sense, Gemini, it's possible that you get, maybe you have a major expense, or an expense is maybe not what you thought, and this can upset you, but then you have to fulfill it and commit to it. So this too is a possibility. Now the Whip with the Bird, Rider, and Fish, these are cards for, again, working through the issues, and it's likely that the issues involve something financial, work related, or otherwise practical. So I think the Rider is helpful here, because the Rider is a card that is able to take things in stride. It can move past issues, and it has that element of momentum, so it doesn't stay stuck. So that's going to be helpful for you to overcome the issues. Now I also have to say, Gemini, that with the Bird, even though it's next to the Whip, it's also next to the Rider. It might be an important part of the whole situation, or resolving it, to have a conversation and to be upfront about certain things. And I think it's important to bring things out into the open, which we saw with the Snake and Whip. And the reason is because the Snake is a card of secrecy, and the Whip is the opposite. It's a card of something externalized, so it comes out into the open. The Snake with the Bird, Anchor, and Fish is also supporting what we initially saw. Despite the issues, you keep moving forward. The Whip, the Snake and Bird is pretty different from the Whip and Bird. It's actually quite opposite. The Snake is much more discreet, and it's much more diplomatic. So maybe there's a balance, but I think really because of the order of the cards, it's going to bring out something into the open. And the Fish and Anchor is actually quite positive. And I have to also say, Gemini, the Snake and Fish is a combination that I see as positive, because it tells me that you're smart and you know how to go after your goals. So it seems to me, Gemini, overall, that even though there are issues or difficulties with this relationship, or with this, possibly this financial issue, it's in your best interest to stick with it and resolve it, or until you do. And if it's about a person, like a personal relationship, I think you're able to move past the obstacle and stick with the relationship. Certainly that would be the focus of the Anchor. So it's a bit challenging this week, Gemini, but not without solution. I think it's going to come down to your commitment as well, and your decision to see through whatever issue into your benefit, your good. And also it could be an opportunity to bring some things out into the open, to clarify them, so that moving forward you have a better foundation, it's more stable, and you know where you're heading. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Gemini. Was this a personal relationship or some other commitment? What was the issue that you decided you're going to stick with? As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thanks for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. Until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Cancer, here is your extended line of 7, and let's deal it out and see what's in store for you. Okay, Cancer, here is your extended line of 7. It's looking generally bright, but we do have the Fox at the end of the line, and the Fox can be a bit of a deceptive card. It tends to point to people who are a little bit half-hearted, who aren't totally sincere. And when I see this after the Heart and Sun, it can be something more personal. So I think there are some really good cards here. Well, they are really good cards here, but it's still worth being cautious about this person, because their intentions might not be what you thought they are. And the fox is also a card of jobs and work, so it's very good with that. And maybe this is a customer or a partner or colleague, with whom you're able to collaborate and do well with. Earlier, we have the house with the heart and sun. These are really nice cards for enjoying times together. There's a really good vibe in this environment. You could be spending time with this person or with colleagues or whoever else the man and fox might represent. But again, because the line ends with the fox and not maybe one of these brighter cards, I just want to suggest to be a bit cautious, Cancer, because your intentions might not be clear. So I think good things are happening. There's a good vibe and everything, but it's still good to maintain a certain awareness. The road, sun, and ship is a great combination for travel. So this could be part of the situation. Maybe you're traveling, this person's traveling, or maybe you're doing something exciting. And what I'm getting a sense of here, Cancer, is maybe with the fox, you don't want to tell everyone about this. We'll see this in the diamonds. But these are really good cards for being on the right track, for pursuing your goals, doing well, seeing the rewards of your effort, and all of these good things. Now, the heart with the roadman and ship could be a reference to the person who is traveling, or maybe they're the ones pursuing certain objectives or supporting you with these objectives. And the house with the road, fox, and ship is similar, but with the fox, again, it calls for caution and to just be clear about where this is heading and how you're involved, Cancer. And like I said, the cards can apply in different contexts. Work-wise, I think the cards are brighter just because the fox has that work element. But in terms of personal relationships, the fox is always a bit trickier. It can bring that element of doubt or not being clear about the intentions. I still think there's an overall good vibe, but it's just that you need to be aware that this person might not be fully sincere in the way that you're thinking. So it helps to be aware in these ways. So let me know what you make of this. Let me know who this person was, if it was personal or in some other context, and if there was a travel element or if it was, about the progress and the good things that you're pursuing. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you very much for tuning in, Cancer. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Leo, let's do your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, here is your line of 5, your extended line of 5, and we've got a bit of a challenging line here, or triplet, with the snake and clouds. And interestingly, I've been seeing this quite a bit so far in our readings. So it's sounding like a bit of a sensitive week, especially when it comes to people. We have the ring and man, and we have the house, and these can be cards that suggest relationships. Now, the clouds is in the middle, so there is tension and confusion, and maybe it's all like in your head, because the clouds tends to be a bit more on the inside. It tends to be a psychological card. And on top of this, we have the snake, which is also a card of silence and secrecy. So I would say, just from looking at this, Leo, that you're better off not doing so much about your issues with this relationship. And we have the man and bear on the other side. So it sounds like you're going to maintain a relationship with this person. The bear asks for strength and courage, but I'm not going to say that this is about standing up to them. Instead, I think it sounds like this person has influence, or, he can represent someone like a boss, or, someone of influence in your environment, regardless of whether it's work or elsewhere. So it sounds like there are issues with this person. You could be having issues with your commitments and your involvement, but I'm not so sure this is the right time to bring it up, Leo. I think it's best to just move forward and, I guess, stick up with it for the time being. The mountain and house on either side of the clouds, this is interesting because this would point to a place abroad. Usually the house points to a place abroad or in a different location. It could also be online. So the issues could be with this location, and the relationship is within this space. But in another possible scenario, Leo, we could be looking at you wanting to get away, or wanting to take time off, go off on your own, and maybe you're not able to right now. Maybe this person is blocking it, or you have responsibilities towards this person and the environment they're within. So it's not like you could do this right away. I still think this is a good time for planning because the clouds is very much about thinking and thoughts. So it's a good idea to see if you can work out a good plan for a bit later beyond this week. Now, the ring with the mountain, man, and house suggests that this is, it's a reference to the relationship being in this location, possibly. And then the snake, mountain, bear, and house is very much about having a base abroad. Each of these combinations, both the mountain and bear and the house and mountain, points to a place in a different location. And with the snake, it could be either wanting to get away from it or wanting to get away from where you are now and take some time out in that location or maybe on your own. So it sounds like you could be trying to work out a plan for some time off, or maybe you have things to do in a different space, Leo, and you're trying to see if you can work it out with this person. It's also possible, Leo, that this relationship issue needs to be resolved somehow, and maybe you're thinking of getting together with this person because it seems that they're not directly in your space right now. They could also be the one who have that connection abroad, which is what we see from the inner diamond. And maybe that's why there's a bit of a distance, or the relationship is a bit tense right now. Now, I have to say, Leo, that I don't really see a solution within the week. It sounds like this person is going to do their thing, and I suggest you do your thing as well. But I also think it's a good idea to maintain a bit of calm and avoid, expressing anything too quickly, or certainly not taking action too quickly. So it sounds like this is more about working through things and assimilating things and trying to work out a plan for a bit later. And the cards can apply in different contexts. So if it comes to a relationship, a personal relationship, there can be some tensions and things like that, but we're not seeing a separation or a breakup or, a parting. We're not seeing that. We're seeing just, the ideas building up and you thinking about them. If it's about something like work, there can be some tensions on the job. There can be issues with a manager and possibly changes that maybe people are anticipating. But again, we're not really seeing this just yet. And right now it's just about waiting and seeing what happens. So I'm going to suggest, Leo, that while you wait and while things sort of come through or fall into place, it's a good idea to work out a plan. And in the meantime, try to keep a cool front and, assimilate what's going on while you're figuring out your path forward. So it's a bit of a hanging kind of situation that I'm seeing in these cards. Let me know if you resonate with this, Leo, and let me know who this person was and what this situation is. And if it did involve a place in a different location, or if it was just maybe some blockages within the current situation. I look forward to your feedback as always. So leave me a comment or two if you're willing to share. Thank you very much for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Virgo, let's deal out your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you. Okay, Virgo, here is your extended line of 5, and I have to say I'm seeing quite a few relationships within this week. There's a bit of a challenge in these cards with the whip, but then after that we have the child, which can point to a new beginning. So this can point to a parting or a separation of sorts, Virgo. Earlier we have the dog, road, and man, and it sounds like, maybe you and this person, you were sort of giving it a chance, you were trying to get along, but then we have the whip and child, which can point to a new beginning. It's also possible, Virgo, that this person leaves because we have the road and the whip, and the road is often by itself a card of going somewhere, and then we have the child. And so maybe it's upsetting. So in this sense, it's not necessarily that you're going separate ways because of an issue between the two of you, but maybe circumstances drive you apart, at least for the time being. We have the garden and letter here, which points to an invitation and a new beginning. It can also be news. I think it has to do with a meeting of sorts. And what comes to my mind is applications, interviews, paperwork, and things like that. And so in the context of work, that could be quite promising, actually, because it can point to a new opportunities that we see with the child. But if it's about that relationship, it sounds like maybe this person has news or is invited to something that causes the parting. It can also be that this person responds to an invitation or to some kind of involvement that upsets you. And that to you is sort of telling, and that you find that it's gonna, it's gonna cause you to go separate ways, at least for the time being. So you could be like, you're not on the same page about this person's involvement or this person's choices, or, some activity that comes up, or it can mean that there's a disagreement between the two of you on something. We see this also in the inner diamond. We have the road, garden, whip, and letter, and this can point to some upsets in this environment. And again, we read the road and whip, suggesting a parting. It sounds like there is news that is upsetting, or there is some kind of communication or exchange that leads you to disagree, and then there's the child on the other side of the whip. The dog, garden, child, and letter is about something new. So again, I feel that there's some kind of invitation, or news, or the green light, or some kind of input that pulls you into this new beginning. And with the dog, it can refer to you or other people, making new friends. And I'm also thinking in terms of work, it would be a new job or a new opportunity. So I think there's quite a lot going on, to be honest, Virgo, and I think it could be happening on different levels through different layers. I also think the cards can be interpreted well for different contexts. So let's recap those. In terms of relationships, I think there can be a disagreement with someone where you could part ways, at least for some time. And the reason for this can be in relation to this person's choices, or perhaps something that happens within a certain group that upsets you, or upsets him, and it causes this difference. In terms of work, the cards are actually brighter, because it can mean that you have a new opportunity, and you have an opportunity to move away from someone or this job. And I have to say, actually, the same dynamic can apply in relationships. So if you have an opportunity to be with other people, meet new people, make a change from this relationship, I think you're willing to take it, because it sounds like you feel that you want to go separate ways, like we said. And the same dynamics can apply in different contexts. So there's a change, there's an opportunity for change, and there's probably a fallout with a person or a certain situation that involves this person. Let me know what you make of this, Virgo. Let me know if it was a challenge with this person, or it was just that the situation sort of had to go in a new direction, and if it was personal, or if it was work related, or something else in your life. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you very much for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Libra, let's do your extended line and see what is in store for you. Okay, Libra, here is your extended line of 5. And I have to say that it's very bright. We have the beautiful moon and clover, but we have the coffin in the context here, which is an interesting addition to the layout. Let's see, when we weave the lines, what it is telling us. Because in the middle row, we have a very beautiful message for getting together with someone and connecting, and it looks like it goes really well. So we have the ring and house. This can point to family, by the way. It can point to family relations or close relations. And with the garden, moon, and clover, you could maybe be getting together with family, or doing something with them, or having some kind of activity. It could be at your place, someone else's place, or maybe just somewhere else. And of course, the ring and house doesn't have to represent just family relations or close relations. It can represent any other connections that you have. And again, with the garden, moon, and clover, it sounds like it's a great time to get together, and you could be enjoying some celebrations or spending some nice times together. It can also point to something a bit more personal, so a one-on-one relationship. It could be a date, it could be just spending more time together, intimate times together, and such activities. So regardless of who and where, these cards are really bright, and they encourage you to be with this person. Now, what's interesting is the coffin and woman on either side of the garden. And I think here there could be a few things, or a few different scenarios that are possible. For one, it's possible that one person doesn't show up, or someone is not able to join, and she's represented by this woman. Now, who she is exactly is flexible. It could be a man, a woman, or someone who's not able to show up. It can also mean that after a time of absence or a time of trying to make this happen, you're able to get together. I can also suggest that there is a change in a relationship, or that you let go of a relationship and you connect with other people. This is more likely in something like a situation where you maybe move away from a team or a person or even a job altogether, and you connect with a different group, a different situation. So these are a few possible scenarios. Let me know if you come up with others, Libra, depending on your situation. We've got the house, coffin, moon, and woman. And again, I think this could be someone who's not able to join, or maybe takes time to respond, or perhaps there was a time apart. But the moon is a nice and gentle card. So I think regardless, Libra, there's probably a good connection here. I also want to suggest that you don't pressure this person, or actually anyone. So it's okay to take it easy and, to allow people to come together as they please. One other thing that comes to mind, Libra, is that there is a social aspect to your week, but there could also be a more private aspect. So maybe after you spend time with people, or you spend time on your own, or vice versa, it's possible that you want to create a balance between your alone time and time with others. And the ring, coffin, clover, and woman can suggest the end of a connection, the end of a relationship, and then the clover and woman brings a new connection or a renewal of sorts. So again, all of these scenarios that I suggested can apply with these cards. You could be moving away from a certain connection. You could be getting in touch with someone, or seeing them after a time apart as well. But I have to say that overall, there is a very nice and peaceful energy to your cards. It points to spending time with people, taking it easy, kicking back, taking time out on your own as well. And there is and it's possible that there is a letting go of someone or something. So again, I would suggest, Libra, you slow down, take it easy, spend time with others, enjoy these moments, and let people go. You don't have to, to pressure anyone to come together, or, anything like that. And if someone wants their own space, also let them go. And the same applies to you. You want your own space as well, but at the same time, there is an opportunity to enjoy these connections here. They're also nice cards for appreciation, for getting positive feedback, and for feeling good within this environment. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Libra. I'm certainly curious about who this woman is in light of the coffin, and if you were able to spend happy times with people, whoever they may be. As always, I look forward to your thoughts if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Scorpio, let's do your extended line and see what is ahead for you this week. Okay, Scorpio, here is your extended line of 5. It is a lovely spread because we have the beautiful star in the middle, but we also have the fox, which typically is a bit of a deceptive or a bit of a warning card against hidden things and people that are not straightforward. Now we have it with the Tower. So this can point to something more or less official, paperwork, procedures, documents, and following up on such things. It can also represent the job, because the fox is a card of employment and the Tower is a card of organizations and institutions. So there can be some good things happening on this front. Earlier we have the dog, key, and star. And this is definitely a lovely triplet for all-around wish fulfillment. The dog can represent you or someone else. And in this case, I think you do get very positive feedback. You get answers, things work out, you get your paperwork through. You could also get a job. The letter with the star and man suggests some really good news coming from this person, whoever he is. Can also represent a woman. And he could be, part of what enables you to achieve your goals, to get the feedback that you want. Could also be the one who offers you a job, or who enables this success. So these are some really nice cards. There's definitely good news. You definitely get the green light, and it looks like there's supportive people And I think there are people, you know, who offer a service like agents, bureaucrats, you know, people like that typically, or maybe someone in an organization. But like I said, it can also represent you getting a job. The key letter, Fox and Man, would very much suggest that you get some really good news from this person. Yes, the Fox can be a bit tricky when it comes to people, you know, deceptive types, or you know, people who are not particularly sincere, who have their own self-interest in mind. But I think it's more about someone who, you know, who is processing some work for you, or is supporting you with something that you're applying for or that you're following up on, or perhaps someone who offers you a job. And the Dog, Letter, Tower, and Man is similar. The Man and Tower can suggest either someone who is in a position to with some authority here that can influence your affairs, or he could be someone who hires you, or is just someone that you are following up with for this paperwork or this news that is actually really, really bright. So overall, it looks like you have someone helpful, even if they're a bit of a character, Scorpio. Even if they're a bit of a character, Scorpio, it's clear that there is some really good news here, that you get the green light, that things move forward, and that you're able to get what you want. So there is some really positive news here, and hopefully it materializes in the way that you want. So just, you know, do your thing, work, take the steps, you know, follow the process, etc., because it's paying off. And I'm not seeing that there's a need to be tense or worried or anxious about any of this. It looks like it's all working out. So just give it a bit of time if that's what you need with the Fox and Tower, and be patient with this person, you know, be nice to them. I think that's a good message from the Fox, and it looks like there is some really good news. So let me know what you make of this, Scorpio. Let me know what this news was about, who this person was. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Sagittarius, let's deal out your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your extended line of 5. And I am seeing a lot of the ring this week. For your part, we are seeing a change. There's definitely a change. We have the Coffin, Ring, Road, and then the Stork and Rider. So these 3 cards, each one of them is about changes, movement, going places, doing things. And earlier we have the Coffin and Ring, which can point to the end of a relationship. Now, the Ring and Coffin would have been more about the ending of a relationship in this order, but because of the Road on the other side of the Ring and then these change cards, it's likely that this is the end of a relationship. And of course it could be the end of something and the beginning of something else. I mean, typically changes happen like this back to back. So there's some welcome change, and I think the Stork and Rider, they give you this sense of momentum and enthusiasm. So it's possible that you've been wanting this opportunity for change and now you've got it. And it's also a good idea, Sagittarius, to take a break. So maybe if this is about work and even other involvements, you know, maybe it's a good idea to take a break, let go a little bit of your responsibilities, and just take some time off, go places, do something different. We have the Letter, Road, and Garden. This could be the news that comes to you that enables you to make this change. I also think that this has to do with a meeting. Oh, Allah. It can also have something to do with a meeting, an invitation to go somewhere, which is what we're seeing here. And in this sense, maybe you had been waiting on this to happen. So the Coffin can also mean a waiting time. The Ring, Letter, Stork, and Garden is great for an agreement, a contract. And with the Stork and Garden, you could be getting involved in something or a situation, or even getting employed, or getting a project. The Coffin, Letter, Rider, and Garden is also similar to what we saw. The Coffin earlier can mean that you had been maybe waiting on this, or you could also be announcing the ending, or that you're leaving, or that you're taking time off. So I think overall this is a great time for you, Sagittarius, to enjoy a change. It seems to me that the change can be different things depending on your situation. It could be taking a break, going places. It could be making a change in your work or some other activity, and really enjoying that. I also want to suggest, Sagittarius, that you don't wait any longer. So the waiting, if this is about waiting, it's on the left. It's, it's probably done within the week. And within the week, it's likely that you can take action, make this change happen, go to the places you want to go to, and whatever else these cards can represent for you specifically. So a nice week for becoming active again, enjoying changes, going places, and I think picking up the pace again. Now, I also want to suggest, if this has to do with relationships, as in personal relationships, Sagittarius, I still think the cards can go well. The change is welcome, but the change can either be in your relationship altogether, or perhaps a renewal in a relationship. Maybe someone was away and you were waiting on them to come back. And so this is a great time for you reuniting with them. So lovely cards in any context. They have a refreshing energy. Let me know what you make of them, Sagittarius, and what this change is about. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Capricorn, let's deal out your extended line and see what is in store for you. Okay, Capricorn, here is your extended line of 5. And even though we have the clouds and snake in these cards, we have the beautiful sun and heart on the other side, which is lovely for healing and wish fulfillment and overcoming any challenge that we see through the clouds and snake. I have to say, I've been seeing quite a lot the snake this week, and this dynamic of there are issues, but then things can work out. So we're definitely seeing this in this line. We have the ring, clouds, and snake, and this brings up issues in a relationship. I have to say, Capricorn, that the snake can represent a love triangle. There can be deception, cheating. It is the card of that. Now, the cards around it are not as strong to suggest that, but in case it is, I do think that with the sun and heart, you can overcome this, and maybe this triangle is dissolved and this person goes away. But otherwise, they're more generally, with the clouds and snake, there are issues in a relationship or a commitment or an involvement. But thanks to the sun and heart, you're able to overcome it. Now, I have to say, Capricorn, that the snake, especially since it's in the middle, can be a card that gives you the advice that will help you overcome the issues that we see through the ring and clouds. The snake is a clever card. It's also a card that knows how to play it smart and how to get what it wants. It's also a great card for silence and secrecy and discretion and tact and diplomacy and all of that, calm character that knows how to watch and, manage things. So it's definitely advice that you just be careful moving forward. And also, I would say, don't jump the gun, don't be reactive, and don't take any rash actions. It sounds like if you can be patient and sort of play it smart, you can get what you want. And that might also be what you need to do, Capricorn. You need to charm someone to your advantage. Maybe you're trying to maneuver a situation or a relationship in order to get what you want. And it sounds like you can do this pretty well. Now, the mountain and ship is adding to this, because the snake and mountain I often take to mean getting around an obstacle as opposed to confronting it. And it's also a combination I use to suggest going around someone's back. So it can have that negative connotation. But the ship at the bottom is great for moving forward. And it is a card of ambition and progress. So it sounds like you are, through this roundabout approach, you'll be able to get what you want and move forward. And it's very much supported by these cards. So when we look at the diamond, the clouds with the mountain into the sun and ship, these are great cards for overcoming an obstacle. The sun and ship really helps you move forward, and in any order of the cards. I have to say that I often read the mountain and sun as suggesting a vacation. And maybe with the ship, you could be going somewhere. So maybe you're trying to get away from someone or something to take time out. That's possible. The ring, mountain, heart, and ship is great across the board. It's great for travel. It's great for relationships. And it's great for moving past obstacles or blockages. We have both the ring and the heart, and we have the ship and mountain. The ship and mountain can suggest travel. And the ring and heart can mean a closer relationship and a positive bond. So it's really nice to see this on the outer diamond, because it confirms what we saw in the middle row, that you're able to overcome the issues and establish a good relationship. So these are some really nice cards, and they offer a similar dynamic in different contexts. So if this has to do with your work or your involvements, things work out. So bear with it and do what you need to do. It looks like you'll get what you want. In personal relationships, same idea. There can be a bit of a more toxic element when it comes to personal relationships because of the snake, but I still think that the issue can be dissolved and you can be in a good space with this person. I can also add that maybe the clouds and snake, in a lighter kind of interpretation, is not so much about the challenges or something toxic, but maybe playing it smart with this person. Maybe you're charming them, and we see the beautiful sun and heart on the other side of this. So really nice cards for any context, mainly thanks to the sun and heart after the clouds and snake, because without it, it could be a bit of a complicated situation, but we have this lovely pair here. So let me know what you make of this, Capricorn. Let me know what is that situation that required a bit more caution. What was it for you? Was it a relationship or a change that you're making, or maybe getting away? Leave me a comment or two if you're willing to share. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, very best of luck with the week. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Aquarius, let's get into your extended line of 5 and see what's ahead for you this week. Okay, Aquarius, here is your extended line of 5. And like many readings this week, I'm seeing relationships coming into focus. We have the ring, garden, and house. And each of these cards has to do with connections and people. We do have the clouds. The clouds is a little bit bumpy, but it's mostly peaceful, especially since we have the tree in the middle. The tree is all about peace and well-being, and it's a good card for taking time out and taking things slowly. Now the bird, ring, tree, garden, and house, all of this line suggests spending time with people, giving relationships time, and also negotiating or exchanging and just giving and taking with people. Now I have to say that the tree, being a slower card, can mean that things do not progress as fast as you want or exactly the way you want. But still, with the garden and house and the tree, there is a sense of stability, and actually the ring as well. There is a sense of continuity and stability. So give it time and allow things to unfold. The ship, tree, and clouds is adding to this a little bit, but the clouds can cause a bit of tension, maybe confusion, and you could also be wondering how things are going to progress. So it can be not so clear right now. The ship and tree are nice cards though, they're very much about taking your time and allowing things to unfold. But even if you don't have full clarity, it's okay. Take it easy, Aquarius. And I also think that maybe you can't do much about this. So in all cases, you want to allow things to fall into place. Now, I have to add that maybe some relationships don't go the way you want, so maybe this is a good time to assess them. The ring, ship, garden, and clouds adds to this, and there can also be a bit of tension that comes up with this relationship or this environment. But again, the ship is smooth sailing, Aquarius, so I would say don't fret about this, or don't try to make things happen. Try to get comfortable a little bit with the way things are, and in time they will be overcome. The bird with the ship, house, and clouds is sort of similar, because we have the clouds with the house, which is similar to the clouds with the garden. The bird and clouds can sometimes mean that there are difficult conversations, or perhaps some unkind things are said. Now, I don't think it's aggravated like this, but I think there can be a bit of tension, maybe some misunderstanding, or a bit of electricity in the air with certain people. But again, the tree in the center and these cards here, they invite you to be easy about this and to move forward and to allow things to unfold. I think you can still be doing your thing. I think you can still be enjoying your relationships and moving ahead with your goals and taking it easy and spending time at home or with people, or in this environment. So let me know what you make of this, Aquarius. Let me know what this little tension that we see with the clouds was about. I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Pisces, let's draw your extended line of 5 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Pisces, here is your extended line, and I have to say it's quite impressive. It's really the scythe at the end of this line that has or adds an energy of swift changes. And it's not just the scythe, it's also the stork, rider, and ship. So all of these 4 cards coming together, they suggest a breakthrough and possibly some big changes. On top of this, we have the beautiful star in the center. And the star is an all-around wish fulfillment card. It brings all sorts of good things. So when we see it with these swift cards of change, this can be a breakthrough. This could be landing a major opportunity, or maybe it was unexpected. Earlier, we have the tree and ship. And without these cards, it's like you're sailing smoothly, things are working nicely. You are in a very positive direction. But then the rider and scythe, this can mean that you pick up the pace more aggressively, and things can pick up and move forward. So it could be a bit of a leap, So here things are more consistent, maybe more predictable. But with the rider and scythe, there can be a major change in momentum. So it's like you shift gears. I have to also say, Pisces, that the rider and scythe can point to a change of direction. So very much when we look at the tree and scythe as corner cards, this is uprooting. Same idea with the ship and rider, although they're not symmetrical and they're not adjacent. The tree and scythe points to an uprooting, and the rider and scythe points to a change of direction. We also see this with the stork. The stork in itself is a card of change, and the scythe very much adds to that. So it sounds like you're able to break through any limitations. It sounds like you're able to shift gears. You can pick up and make strong changes that are very much aligned with your goals. Another way we can interpret this line, Pisces, is that now that you've completed something or achieved goals, or arrived at what you want, you're able to make a change and move in a different direction. This too is possible. Now in the column we have the dog, and the dog is a card of friends, colleagues, people in your peer group, siblings. And with the star and stork, there's some very good things that happen here. You could have some really good activities with friends, good things happening with your colleagues, customers, or other people in your life. Again, this is part of the breakthrough, where there's some really good connections here that help you materialize your goals. The ship with the dog, rider, and stork. So we have here all 3 travel and change cards, and we see it with the dog. So maybe there are people coming and going into your life, or perhaps there's an opportunity to get together with someone, or relationships pick up in certain ways that give you that push, that momentum. They could also be people like customers or colleagues, so all wonderful activity here. The tree with the dog, scythe, and stork, this is again this element of change. We have the tree and scythe, which I said was uprooting. The stork and scythe is very much about change. So the dog here points to, again, this person who can help you make changes, or perhaps there's a breakthrough. This person enables you to make a big step forward or inspires some changes. Now, without the strong positive energy of the star, I would have suggested, Pisces, that maybe you break away from certain relationships. And this remains a possibility. I can't, dismiss it altogether. But my feeling is that, this would normally be with more challenging cards. And we're not really seeing this here. Maybe you are experiencing freedom from certain people, you have like more elbow room. That's possible. But I think it's mostly the positive energies that come from this person or with this person in the different lines. So a really exciting spread, Pisces. This can be a big breakthrough. a lot of momentum, like a push forward, some exciting changes, and a lot of wish fulfilling and happy cards here and combinations. Let me know what you make of this. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.